It's Batman time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're gonna have a look at the top McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman in the Hellbat suit. Yes, McFarlane toys. I got this one now because the design of this guy is amazing. It showed up in the comics during a fairly recent arc where Batman went to Apocalypse and beat the crap out of Darkseid to get his son back, or, you know, that's just the clip notes of it. But anyway, McFarlane Toys has come out and said, we want to do a figure of it, and with the amazing design, the size of it and everything of it, it just looks very impressive, so I had to get it. So now, let's have a look. Overall look in detail of this figure, quite frankly, it's fantastic. I'm a big fan already, I can tell you. He stands at about 19.5 centimeters to the top of his head, which means we're going up to 4, almost 5, almost 7.5 inches. Now, one of the first complaints that I've heard people have with this figure is that he doesn't look completely accurate to what they have advertised, to what we have in the comic books. And that's fair, that is fine. He doesn't have the big shoulder pads, he doesn't have the big gauntlets, and he also doesn't have a cape. As you can tell, he clearly has a cape. He has some bat wings in the back. We have something similar, also the belt looks different, and yada yada yada. Now, that out of the way, I don't care. I really don't care, to be honest. Like, you can... Some people will get angry about this, I really don't, because honestly, I think just adding this, the shoulder pads and everything, it just enhances an already, like, pretty cool design, makes it more mechanical, makes it more badass, makes it bigger. So, always, if I buy a figure, and they try to make it look better than the source material, I'm not complaining. Anyway, look at detail of the figure. The paint job on this one is ridiculously clean for a figure that's only like 25 bucks. All the red lines over here are pretty nicely done. There are some small slips here and there, like down there at the torso, but nothing really major to complain about. Like, really. Also, considering all the detail in the sculpt, you got some stuff in the neck, got some stuff around the head. The red itself, I would have liked it to be a little bit more vibrant. I mean, under the camera, it looks better than it looks in real life, but it's a little bit like lightish red, and it still pops, obviously, because it's black, red on black. It's just a very, very good combination of colors. Then you got the belt. Didn't paint the top part, but again, 25 bucks. That's like one of the main features of this figure. That's for the price point, for 25 bucks. Yeah, I'm not having a lot of trouble with it. Now with the plastic, some parts are brighter and shinier than other parts, which I don't really get. You have, like, especially you can see the entire torso part is super shiny. Then the arms aren't so much, and then they made like a more metallic grayish look on especially the shoulder pads and the gauntlets. But it looks nice. It looks really good, especially the effect. Like, I think there's a little bit of dry brushing on it to make it stand out more, and I appreciate that. Like, dry brushing on a $25 figure. Are you kidding me? Then we go down to the legs. Very nicely molded as well. You have some more detail in it. Really bulky looking. And the red lines going down. He doesn't have a butt. No bat butt. What the hell? You got the exhaust pipes over there. Also, there's like the very small ones on the side over here. Just very nice detail overall in the figure, and the big boots. Now, the one thing that is also the big bone joints just sticking out over here. They didn't do that very nicely, but you still get very good articulation and posability out of this guy because of it. So again, I'm not completely hating it. Now for the articulation, I feel like that's always a part where these cheaper figures kind of really perform badly against the stuff I usually have, like the Figmas and the Figure Arts. So, head movement is barely there. It does move up, that's about it, and it does move down, and it's, yeah. It does go to the sides a little bit, but immediately pulls back, so it actually doesn't really go to the side. It's just way too busy over here. They could have done some soft plastic overall. I mean, it feels a little bit soft-ish, but no, actually not. And it does tilt side to side, but that's about it. You got a big hinge, also something that nicely covers up all the articulation in there. Goes up very nicely, has some rotation on it, goes back for just a little bit of wiggle room, but he's a big guy, so I don't hate it. Now also, the shoulder pad is, I think, on a ball, so you can move that up bring it forward and to the back and just wiggle it a little bit around. Always put it into a nice position with the arm. So that works very fine. And you got a bicep swivel, and it's... Now we get to the part. I think you could get more out of it than this wiggle motion, but it's so stiff. So don't break anything off, be careful with it. I really like, some of the joints are ridiculously stiff. Same thing with the elbow joint. Goes up like that, and let me straighten it out again. There you go. Yeah, got a big ball hinge for the hand, goes down, up, and rotation on it, has a swivel. Now, like, the ridiculously tough joints are pretty good for such a big guy. Again, stability is not really an issue. He's a little bit more wobbly in the chest area, but the chest area itself doesn't really get that much, goes forward, back, and goes all the way around, actually. That's also pretty impressive, considering they didn't really leave that much of a gap there, so that's fine. Now, you have one at the lower torso area. Again, it's ridiculously tight to spin this around, but also has a little bit of back and forth wiggle motion. Side to side, not really, but the overall torso area is kind of limited. Now for the legs, goes forward nicely, and it just rotates out because they didn't make a soft crotch piece. Unfortunately, that would have gone a long way, but anyway, goes out to the side, doesn't really go that much to the back, and it kind of rotates on it because it's not a ball joint or a ball hinge, it's just a hinge that's just pegged in. So you can rotate it, swivel it at the peg, but that's about it. So if it's down low, it doesn't really do anything. Then you got double hinged knees. Got the nice knee pad over there to hide the articulation. That's great. And the big ball joint, ball hinge in there. Goes forward, back. Does tilt side to side very much. Awesome. And a toe hinge to round it off. So for your accessories, you get a card. You get like a trading card with the comic book picture and data file. Also from 2014, I said like recently, it's 2020, so messed that up. I remember the storyline though. I didn't read it, but I remember we went to Apocalypse to get Damien back, I think. And then you got, well actually, let me have the base first. There's a base, the DC base has the DC logo on it, there you go, and a pack for the foot. But then you have the bat wings, which they are folded up, and actually I recently saw an interview with Todd McFarlane where he said they didn't plan to fold them up, but they had to do that to get this huge thing in the box. And yes, the wings are indeed pretty huge. They are pretty stiff also. This is my second set of wings I got. This is actually my second figure I got because my wings out of the box were bent over here. So I'd be very careful with that. I didn't even touch them before, but yeah, I just want to have a look at the wing size over here. The wingspan goes almost up to 30 centimeters once it's plugged in, actually. Plugs in like that, so it's over 30 centimeters, over 12 inches. We got that, but overall, I mean, it looks super plain. It's just two big, giant pieces of plastic, and it's just so stiff. I would recommend just like moving it around a little bit. But the thing that it's stiff, it also has opposability if you just want to move it a little bit to the back or whatever, play around with it. You have some options. And here you got the entire piece, but before I go to the final thoughts, I actually heated up the head. Now we have some side-to-side movement. Wow. Well, I had to heat up the entire figure because of the wings. Those are really hard to connect. I really recommend using a hairdryer and heating the plastic up so it's nice and soft so you can stick in the wings without any trouble. And now, again, as a bonus, I get head movement. So, final thoughts of this figure. I mean, I gotta be honest here. I gotta be completely honest. Sometimes it's just about a look. Sometimes it's just about having a giant black metal Batman in your shelf that just looks amazing. The design is awesome, even though it's not 100% accurate, but as I was saying, if they're adding things, I'm not hating it. It's even just making the design even more badass. And overall, sculpt is amazing. Plastic, you know, he has some shiny parts, some non-shiny parts, has some little bit of dry brushing here, and the paint job overall is very, very clean. Those are the good parts. Is a little bit limited in the articulation department, and I don't really hate it because he's a big dude, and two, he's only 25 bucks. And yeah, I mean, could have used some hands maybe, and another set of hands would have been nice. But for the price point, I'm really not complaining about the lack of anything. It's just like $25 for this big figure. Well, maybe the wings. Maybe the wings just made them a little bit nicer. They're kind of thick and dirty. I don't know. Anyway, at the end of the day, I still do recommend this figure because it looks awesome. And complaints I have are kind of washed away with the price point. That's really it. So go out and get yourself a Hellbat. And isn't that just amazing? Hellbat! So that's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more free reviews, card game stuff, and whatever the Hellbat wants. Like, more hands would have been nice, but whatever. This is pretty cool.